Hello my friends, welcome back to Make It Monday with Bob's Red Mill. If we haven't met yet, my name is Matt Weinstein, aka Glass of Weinstein. I'm a gluten-free cook and content creator, and I'm so excited to share this recipe with you all today. For those who are celebrating Happy Hanukkah, today we're making gluten-free Sufganiyot. If you don't know what they are fried jelly donuts. So grab a glass of Weinstein and let's get cooking. For this recipe, we're going to be using two different Bob's Red Mill products, the gluten-free all-purpose baking flour and the gluten-free one-to-one baking flour. The reason for this, the one-to-one is a great base for any gluten-free baking, but because we're using a yeast-based recipe, I like using the all-purpose baking flour, which has a little bit more protein involved in it. So, we're going to measure out 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of both. I know it sounds a little weird, Matt, why are you using 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons? Because total, it's gonna be 2 cups and 1/4 cup together. So using your cup, let's measure out 1 cup of each, and then we'll go back and do our tablespoons. Make sure you're nice and level. So that's 1 cup of that guy, and then 1 cup of our one-to-one. So again, scrape off the top. We want nice, even measurements. So that's 1 cup of each, and then coming in with 2 tablespoons of each, just to round it out. Shoop, that's 1. And that's 2 of our all-purpose. And then that's 1 and 2 of our one-to-one. To our dry ingredients, I've got 2 teaspoons of xanthan gum. This is gonna be a nice binder to give our donuts some nice elasticity. And then for a little extra help to make them nice and fluffy, I've got 1 teaspoon of baking powder. The last thing is just a 1/2 teaspoon of some kosher salt, just to round out the flavors. Let's give this a little whiskey whisk. And those are our dry ingredients. Now let's talk about our wet ingredients. We're gonna start with 3/4 cup of your favorite milk. I'm gonna use oat milk. To that, 2 1/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast. Make sure your milk is nice and warm, but not too hot. We don't wanna kill the yeast. We just wanna warm it up, wake it up. And to that, just so it has something to munch on, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar. It's also gonna add some sweetness, obviously, to our donuts. We're gonna let that sit. Everyone's gonna get to know each other in there, and once it's bloomed, we'll check on it in a little bit. So our yeast mixture has been blooming and resting together for a few minutes. We're gonna add a few other wet ingredients in here. I've got 2 eggs already cracked. That's gonna go right in there. 2 tablespoons of a neutral oil. I'm using avocado, but you can use whatever oil you like, as long as it's not too pungent. And then just about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Give that a little whiskey whisk and beat everything together. The next step is just to combine our wet ingredients into our dry. The dough is gonna be a little sticky, just so you are fully prepared. Don't be alarmed by it. They still yield up nicely when they fry up. So just fold everything together. And if you need to, get your hands in there to help it along and knead it all up. It's a little secret that I like to do when I'm getting my hands involved is just put a little bit of nonstick spray on. That will just help things stay off of my hands and make things a little less messy. Okay, our dough is formed. We gotta let this rest for at least an hour. So cover it with a lid or a paper towel and let that sit, and we'll visit that in a little bit. While our dough finishes rising, I'm just going to start getting our oil preheated. I'm using corn oil here. It's one of my preferred oils for frying, but you can use whatever oils you like. Our dough has been proofing for about an hour. Let's take a look. Look how big she got. She's beautiful. Again, the dough is going to be a little bit sticky, but again, don't worry about that. We're going to be using a little scooper. I've got a little bowl of gluten-free flour here just to help so nothing really sticks too much. Just get right in there, give it a scoop, and there you go. So they don't stick, we're gonna use our trick by using our nonstick spray. So get your dough, we're gonna roll it and flatten it until it's about the size of a biscuit, I guess is a good way to put it. And then from here, right into the fryer. Scoop, roll it out, press it, and into the oil. We're gonna let these fry for about 2 to 3 minutes per side until they get beautifully golden brown and nice and puffy. I've got my plate with some paper towel to catch any excess oil. Carefully pull them out. They smell so good. Next up is to fill up our donuts. To give it a little help, I'm gonna use a little straw to make our hole. Give it a little wiggle, so it creates a little cave. And then get your squeeze bottle with your favorite jelly, stick it in there, and fill her up. Right from here, while they're still hot, spin them around in that sugar, just like that. It's gonna be a little messy, but that's part of the fun. Let's keep doing it. You ready to give them a taste? Right. There's nothing like a fried jelly donut for Hanukkah. Thank you so much, my friends, for joining me in the kitchen for Make It Monday with Bob's Red Mill. Once again, my name is Matt Weinstein, aka Glass of Weinstein. If you like this recipe, there's a lot more of them on my Instagram here, and on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and my website, glassofweinstein.com. Until next time, my friends, happy Hanukkah and happy everything. Cheers!